To be honest with you, it's been a while since I have fun with a newly added item in Warframe. I don't know about you, but in the past, we get some weird, unexpected interactions in Warframe that are really fun to play with. The new signature weapon of Caliban Prime, called the Vadarya Prime, is one of those things that will shock you, literally. Right now, the new Prime weapon has a fun interaction with the blast, and it will let you rain lightning on enemies and clear steel path rooms easily. But wait, modding for blast on the weapon is not the thing that make this gun broken. It's something else, and I will share to you that I have learned after a couple of hours testing. By the way, if you like fun and powerful combos like this, then please consider liking the video and subscribing for more Warframe content. This will help our channel and let us know that we are doing something right for you guys. Thank you, and now, let's start this guide. So, Vadarya Prime is classified as a sniper rifle, but it's more than just a precision weapon. It got this unique trait that creates a conductive area around the target, with a chance to spawn up to 3 lightning strikes on random nearby enemies. The lightning strike damage does scale with mods, and based on some experimentation, the amount of lightning strikes you can spawn can be override with multi-shot or multi-hit abilities, and as well as the blast element in the game. Now, the multi-shot is understandable, but the blast interaction makes you scratch your head and question how did that happen when it's not noted in the weapon description. Before we get into that, I would like to talk more first about the multi-shot interaction, as this is really important in understanding the whole infinite lightning combo of this synergy. So, how do I know that it multi-shot works? Upon testing, the normal lightning strike proc without multi-shot mods will be around 1 or 3 strikes per enemy hit. It's random, and sometimes it gives you 1, and if it gets lucky, then it will give you 3 lightning strikes. Then, after modding for split chamber and vigilante armaments, I can see the gun doing 5 lightning strikes, but it's not as often as I wanted to. Then, I strike equipping more multi-shot in my build through arcanes. There are 2 arcanes that gives you more multi-shot, and these are the primary blight and the primary frostbite. If you remember, elemental mods right now, just like the freezing force augment of frost, doesn't combine with other elements. This means that you can have both blast and electric modded in your Vadarya Prime, and you can add cold with the augment to proc the buff of primary frostbite. The only problem is that 3 elements will compete in your primary's build. This means that it will take some time to build up the multi-shot stack of primary frostbite. However, there's our better way to do it, and I use primary frostbite mainly because it becomes a reliable source of multi-shot when you pair it with the Verglass Sentinel weapon. Simply mod the Sentinel weapon with cold, high-status chance, and it will do the rest. After modding for more multi-shot, I can see a max of 6 lightning strikes. Now, I hope you are still following because this is where it gets fun. So you all know the basic about multi-shot in the game. It basically gives you more bullets to hit an enemy, and for Vadarya Prime, it does help create more lightning strikes. Now there's also a mechanic in the game called multi-hit, which means that it can strike down multiple enemies at once, and if you have guessed it already, then you know that Mag has hit the jackpot on this one. Remember, that Mag has the Magnetize skill that allows you to hit all enemies inside the bubble. If you pair this with the multi-shot we have from the arcane and modding, then it will create this amazing lightning strike combo for Mag. Remember though, the Magnetize bubble does require you to have good punch-through in your weapon build for this to work and hit all those enemies within the skill. So, equipping Shred or its primed version won't hurt, and in fact, it will make the build stronger as fire rate does lower the charging mechanic of the Vadarya Prime. If you factor in the skill of Mag also to strip armor, then you will create a chaotic bubble that deals blast, electric, and strike enemies with lightning damage. But hold your excitement again, as I'm just showing you the tip of the iceberg. Let's proceed to getting even more lightning strikes. Now, let's talk about the crazy blast interaction. I have been testing this thing for hours, and from what I have understand, it's not actually the blast damage that is causing this weird. Blast basically has the status effect, wherein it will create a 5 meters explosion upon death, or when an enemy received 10 stacks of blast status effect. While not specifically mentioned, my theory initially was Vadarya Prime's unique trait seems to trigger per enemy hit, and it has a chance to spawn random lightning strikes on enemies nearby. So basically, Blast is causing more lightning strikes because it's hitting more enemies within that 5-meter radius. With this in mind, there are two things to consider here. One is that it's best that you have grouping skills if you want to benefit from the Blast status effect. The fact is, 5 meters isn't that much, and you need enemies to be tightly grouped so they'll get hit. Secondly, higher status chance is needed so that every hit will have a chance to stack 10 times Blast on an enemy. Also, multi-shot will aid on inflicting 10 blast proc to enemies fast because of the extra bullet. But after a couple of tests, I'm still not convinced with the interaction I have in my mind, which is why I decided to test it more. And this time, I decided to test out all my theories with Citrine. Why Citrine? Simply because of her prismatic gem that grants a status chance boost to weapons. This allows Vadarya Prime to go over 100% status chance with enough power strength so that Blast will proc more and Lightning Strike will have higher count. I also added grouping with Ensnare to make sure that Blast will also hit surrounding enemies constantly. Honestly, the synergy is decent at maximum potential. Lightning Strikes are there, but it's just like the Mag Bubble synergy. I see the same number of Lightning Strikes, and eventually it came to the point that I thought that Blast is not doing shit with the combo. If this was a beam rifle, then probably the status chance of Citrine will be more effective, as it will stack those blast proc constantly. However, the one big shot mechanic of a sniper rifle of Vadarya Prime is hindering this combo to be more effective. Like I have said, the combo is already good as it can kill steel path enemies easily, but I needed more lightning strikes. And then I remembered Zephyr. Zephyr's tornado can multi-hit, and it works by allowing you to shoot the summoned tornadoes, distributing 100% of your weapon's total damage, including critical hits and status effects, to all enemies trapped inside the tornado. Each tornado acts as a critical hit multiplier, doubling any critical damage dealt to enemies within it. The tornadoes also inherit your weapon's damage type, which can create powerful effects like the massive blast that we need. After testing it, I saw glorious thick lightning strikes, which is a great indication that the synergy is working. Shooting the tornado creates thick lightning strikes against those enemies that are trapped in the tornado. But before you replicate this build, I would like you to understand that funnel cloud builds are not recommended for this. Forming tiny tornadoes are useless for this synergy, and it's better to have the basic tornado build with high range for Zephyr. This way, you can pull enemies near the tornado with her airburst skill. So, the loop is just creating a stationary tornado, pull targets with airburst, and shoot the tornado with Vadarya Prime to see those glorious lightning strikes. But even with Zephyr spawning lots of lightning strikes, I'm still not 100% sure if the blast combo is legit. It all makes sense when I decided to try it with Lavos and Nova. With Lavos, you are able to generate infinite lightning strikes if you have Valence formation and infused blast in the gun. And with Nova, you are able to spawn lightning strikes when an enemy just exploded and inflicted with blast. By the way, aside from blast, I have tried also other damage types like toxin and gas that does hit enemies within an area or spread to enemies using other abilities. But sadly, this doesn't work. Then it hit me. I don't know if you know this, but blast in the game is actually treated, or more specifically, coded as weapon damage. So it looks like spaghetti coding is behind this insane Lavos synergy. Basically, the blast damage coming from Lavos Valence formation are treated by the system as weapon damage, which equals to how the lightning strike mechanic spawns from the Vadarya Prime. This makes sense as it also works with Zephyr's tornado, which also boost most weapon stats and damage inflicted to enemies when you shoot the ability. This can also be said with Nova's molecular prime, and after remembering this, I feel a little disappointed as this might be the case, and we could see a patch really soon addressing this broken synergy. Honestly, I don't mind all the forma I spent in this synergy just to share to you the truth. But my god, I wish that Digital Extremes keep this synergy and make it like one of those bugs turned to feature mechanic in Warframe. Right now, build varieties in Warframe is stale, and to be honest, we really need something broken to enjoy in the game. Most of the releases right now are all about nerfs and skins, and we need something new to enjoy with. The Vadarya Prime is really a spark of joy, and I really wish that Digital Extremes will not gut this awesome synergy, but turn it to feature instead. To be fair, it's not that broken in real missions, as it doesn't do 6 digits per hit, just like other nerf synergies in the past. It would take a couple of lightning strikes before taking down a high-level steel path enemy, and it would not make any sense toning down the best feature of this new prime weapon. Without the increased lightning spawn from the blast interaction, the gun is just a party gimmick. At least now, it's a party gimmick that somehow works in real missions. If they nerf this thing down, then it will be another mastery rank fodder and be labeled as a simulacrum gimmick. I'm crossing my fingers right now that the developers keep this interaction, and here's to hoping for more things like Vadarya Prime in the future.